Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. If you didn't know, I am Quisha Quinette, and today I'm making a video on how you can produce more breast milk. Please excuse my voice. I am getting over being sick. I had COVID, I had pneumonia, and my voice completely went away. And so it's slowly coming back, but it's still a little raspy. So please excuse my voice, but I really wanted to get this video done and out to help some people out. There are many of these videos out there. A lot of them have helped me with some suggestions and advice on how to produce breast milk. And so I wanted to share what I have done and the information that I've received and how I've been able to produce as well. But I want to do it from my own perspective. So the number one thing that you want to do, well, I'm just going to speak for myself. I'm going to speak from my own perspective on what I've done. I'm not a lactation specialist. I am not a doctor, a nurse. I am none of those things. All I am is a mother of two, and I am a mother who has struggled with increasing her breast milk. And so I know the struggle. I understand how it can make a mother feel because I have walked in those shoes. And so because I am currently walking into this journey of pumping, I am exclusively pumping, you guys, which I started that when my son, a little after my son turned 1 month, and he is now 2 months. He's going on 3 months. And so I'm exclusively pumping. It's going very good. And so I want to provide you guys with some advice on what you can do to produce more breast milk. The first thing that I did was I prayed. And all that I do, I want to make sure that I am seeking God. I want to seek God first in everything that I do. That's just what I do. That's just who I am. I am a believer. I believe in God. I believe in the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Jesus is my Lord and Savior. And so in everything that I do, I seek God first. I prayed and went to God about what it is that I was worried about. What that was I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to produce milk for my baby. My first son, I stopped producing breast milk. And with all the information that I know now, I could see why. My first son is 5, about to be 6. And so almost 6 years ago, I was at this place where I was struggling mentally because I stopped producing. For one, it's hard to breastfeed. It is challenging. It hurts. And it really requires consistency, self-discipline. It requires a lot of things. So on top of that, I was not producing enough. And so I was discouraged. I didn't have enough knowledge. And so I gave up. I didn't know what else to do. I just felt like, oh, I can't give my baby what he needs. My body's not giving my baby what he needs. And so now I have to give him formula. And that's just what it was at that time. And so I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm not saying that breast milk is the only way. What I'm saying is how I felt at that time and what happened to me. Now that I have a second child, almost 6 years later, from what I knew then to what I know now, I was able to first pray, talk to God, listen to God, and seek for answers. And so I gained a lot of knowledge. I received help. I talked to a lactation specialist in the hospital. I allowed her to give me information, to share videos, to share resources, as well as asked a lot of questions so that I know the answer to them. She also gave me a product that I could use. She gave me some information I can use as far as healing the nipple and just a lot of great information because I utilized that resource. Before, I was not utilizing the resource. After that, I also utilized her and called her because she told me that I could call after the fact. And so I called, I was asking questions and utilizing that resource. So a little bit of background before I get started in what I did. So when I initially was in the hospital, I was breastfeeding, of course, and things started to flow. My baby latched right away. There really wasn't a lot of work that I needed to do to get him to latch on very great. Seeing that he was a newborn, of course, I had to adjust his lips and make sure that it was in the right form, of course, like as a duck and all that good stuff. But he was great when it came to latching. He latched right on. However, when I left the hospital, I started to pump. I wanted to get pumping going right away. Why? Because I had this ideal in my mind that I wanted to only pump and not nurse. And so I was getting advice from people. I was watching videos and I was seeing that a lot of people were saying that, you know, if you only pump, it's going to slow down your production. Okay? It will affect you producing enough milk. And so because of that, even the lactation specialist talked to me about that as well. So I knew that was a factor. And because of that, I continued to nurse. However, I was pumping as well. One mistake that I made was I was pumping before I was feeding. I was supposed to be feeding first and then pumping after. I changed that right away. But let me go back. So when I left the hospital, I started to pump right away. And when I was pumping, I was actually pumping a lot of milk. And so because of that, I started to store because I already had my storage bags. I was prepared and I wanted to start storing right away so that, you know, my baby has milk stored away and he's able to eat, you know, when I'm able to feed him the breast milk 100%. Without any formula or anything like that. And he has extras. He has enough for me to plan ahead, for me to go out and do what I need to do, knowing that he has what he needs, right? So I started to pump right away. I think I got up to 8 bags and I was so proud of myself. I showed it on here. I showed you guys when I had those bags, when I was starting to produce those bags and put those bags away. However, I think maybe a week and a half into doing that, I started to decrease in milk. And so that's when I grew very discouraged. I called the lactation specialist. What she did is she had me putting my son on my breast more often. Of course, I flipped around the pumping and the feeding, where I was feeding first, pumping after. And then I also was giving him the supplement, which was the breast milk. After I fed him on my breast, I would give him a bottle just to make sure he was eating. Because when I took him to his first appointment and his second appointment, he was not gaining weight. And so they were concerned and they wanted to see, they scheduled an additional appointment to see if he would gain weight. And so I went on this 5 to 7 day thing where I was being consistent doing these specific things. And it helped because when we went to the doctor, he had gained some weight. He had gained about like 1.5 pounds or something like that. And I was so happy because I was stressing out about it. One thing that I have done though, so I went back to what I originally wanted, which was I wanted to exclusively pump. So I started to do research. I started to look up some things. And I didn't want to disregard what I heard from lactation specialists or what I heard from other individuals, but I did want to go for what I wanted and what I felt would be good for my own situation. If you are a mother out there who is getting advice or seeking advice from a lot of people, also consider what it is that you want within that too and what will work for your specific situation. everybody's situation is different. And so I think that we all have to go into this journey or any journey understanding that it won't look the same. When we reach out for help, or when we look at other people to see what they're doing to try to get some help or some knowledge or some wisdom, we're not doing it to just copy everything that they're doing. We're doing to see what we can do that'll help for our specific situation. And so that's exactly what I did. I wanted to exclusively pump. I did some research on it, and I figured out that there were some things that I can do, and I knew that I had to be consistent. That's one thing about, my faith walk that I understand. I know that I have to be, which is consistent. And I believe that this whole journey with just having a newborn and, getting to a place where I am now producing, it took some consistency. It takes some self-discipline. It takes some routine. And so that's where I am right now, and I want to share with you guys what I've done to produce more in milk. Now, when I started to decrease, I was only pumping about maybe 1 to 2 ounces per boob, okay? Which was very low. And so I was very discouraged, and I wanted to produce. I wanted to be able to give my baby what I believe he needed. There's a lot of benefits to breastfeeding. There's a lot of benefits to breast milk. And so I wanted my child to experience that. And so this is what I did, or what I've used to produce more milk. And I did not only do this for just a certain period of time. I have done this consistently since a week and a half after I gave birth. Okay? So the first thing you're going to want to do is to have in your mind that you need to be consistent. This is going to be a daily routine throughout the day of things that you need to intake and things that you need to do in order to produce. Okay? Get that in your mind. So the first thing you're going to want to do, of course, I pray. That was my first thing that I did. First thing you want to get in your mind is going to be you're going to have to be consistent, and you're going to have to develop some sort of routine. It doesn't have to look perfect, because mine doesn't, but it has to be consistent, okay? The most important thing you're going to want to do is stay hydrated. What I'm learning is that our milk is liquid, right? And so if we're not putting fluids in our body, fluids are not coming out. That's just like when you are using the bathroom. If you haven't really been drinking a lot, you're probably not going to be using the bathroom a lot. And that's how people get dehydrated, right? So that's just an example. If you're not taking in fluids, if you're not taking in liquids, how are we going to release liquids out of our body? Okay? So you're going to want to drink a lot of fluids, preferably water. What I did is I purchased I recently did this. Before, I was just using a regular bottle or cups and just trying to scarf down water. Okay. It was very hard for me at the beginning because I didn't have an appetite. I did not want to eat. I was experiencing some sadness, and I just was not there. However, I had to push myself because I know I needed to do this for my kid. Right. And so, boom, I just bought a water bottle. I've been using it for a couple days now, and this is going to help motivate me to continue to drink water and keep up with the water that I'm drinking, okay? Before, I was just scarfing down water just to say, okay, I know I drank a lot of water today because I'm scarfing it down. Now I actually can see the ounces and keep up with what I'm drinking a day so that I know what I'm drinking a day and I know what I'm intaking. And for the record, I got this off of Amazon. So Amazon has a whole bunch of water bottles. Get you a water bottle. Dig up one of the ones you have already, or order you one, or just use a cup. Whatever it is you need to do, make sure you're pushing fluids. Make sure you are drinking water. That is your most important thing that you need to do, is to hydrate. Next, you're going to want to eat. This is something that I learned from others. You're gonna want to eat. Why? Because when you're breastfeeding, you are losing a lot of calories, and everything that you have within you, all the nutrients and vitamins and everything that's in you, the good things, are going to come out of your breast milk. So you're going to want to make sure that you're putting things back into your body, and not only your baby's getting it, but you're getting it as well. Also, eating helps the milk to produce more as well, and it adds to what is producing within that milk. So make sure you are eating, preferably make sure you are eating healthy foods. I've struggled with that. I'm still kind of having some cravings for pregnancy. I'm struggling with the food, okay? Sometimes I just want to eat, but I've been trying to incorporate different things like fruits, like blueberries and strawberries, vegetables when I'm eating dinner, things like that. So just try to at least incorporate fruits and vegetables in your meals or in your snack, if you're not eating healthy all day, every day. What else? So I went and I purchased some things because I was just like, look, I don't have to try everything because I need to produce, okay? And if I don't produce, at least I tried everything. So one of the things that I bought was this. This is mother's milk tea. It's organic. I got it from Woodman's. And I think you can get this from Walmart as well. I think you can order it offline. Just Google it. Mother's milk tea. I make sure that I drink this every morning. Now, it does have a nasty taste to it, you guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It has a nasty taste to it. If you like black licorice, then you'll love this, but the taste is like a black licorice. So if you can't stand the taste, you can do what I do. When I initially started to drink that, I was putting in like a little monk fruit and honey just to make a taste, but it just kind of elevated that licorice taste. And so I just don't put anything in it. All I do is put the tea bag and the water in there, and I make sure all the tea gets out of that bag, and then I drink it just like that, and that helps with that taste. So this is one thing that I've been doing consistently every day. This is not cheap. I don't remember how much it is. To me, it's not cheap, because it's only 16 tea bags in here, and I'm taking it every day. So being consistent, doing that every day, I'm gonna have to buy a lot of these. So it can get expensive, but it's worth it. So this is one thing that I do every morning. I drink this once a day. That's it. I know some people do more. I know the box says you can do it more times a day. I only do this once a day. Next is I went and got these lactation cookies. Before actually I had my baby, I had met this young lady at the park, and we ended up talking about breastfeeding, and it was just like it was meant to happen. And she was telling me about these cookies and how she took these cookies and she was overproducing with these and apricots. Now, I went and bought dry apricots, but I only took them for like a couple days. I couldn't take the taste, so I stopped eating them. They're still in the cabinet. So that's why I'm not adding that to this video, because I have not been eating apricots. But that's something that she said helped her. But I have had, this is the last one of the box that I did have. And these lactation cookies, they're pretty good in taste. Taste a little different, but it's chocolate chip and oatmeal. It's oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. And so they taste like cookies, whatever. The taste is pretty okay. But that's something else that I also used. I did not use it every day, but I did use it here and there when I wanted a snack, okay? Another thing is coconut water. Now, I'm going to tell you about this too. So these drinks, of course, you probably see a lot of people talking about these and how it helps produce breast milk. And I believe that this helps. I think one major thing that helps it is the coconut water that's inside of it. And so these help, okay? These really, 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 really help. I love the taste of these. I love probably every flavor. I think the coconut one is probably my favorite. But these really, really, really help you guys. If you want to produce, drink you some of these. But I really truly believe that, and I have the one that's supposed to be no sugar added and low in calorie and all that good stuff to try to be a little more healthier. But there are some things in here that are probably not so healthy. I am learning to look at ingredients now, but for the most part, it's a okay drink. If you want to go for a more healthier drink, coconut water, okay? This is going to really, 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 really help you. And that's what's in this. Now, coconut water. This is organic, pure coconut water. They also have, coconut water where they may add another ingredient or two within it that you can get from the grocery store. This I got from Whole Foods. This is organic, only coconut water in it. However, I have tried other coconut waters as well that has like pineapple juice mixed in it because it just tastes better. And I just I mix this in a smoothie where it's just fruit and coconut water, or I drink it on ice and I just drink it plain, which is the other one is better that has the pineapple in it. It tastes way better. But this is what helps you to produce, you guys. This is a natural, great way that you can produce breast milk, coconut water. Okay? This drink, I don't know what it is about it, but it really does help. It really does help you to produce. As you can see, I have water in here, you guys. I've been drunk this. I was just drinking water out of this bottle. But I've had a bottle, so I wanted to include this in my video so that you guys can see what it is exactly I'm talking about. It's these Bodyarmor drinks. Okay? So, as far as products, that's really all that I use to help produce, to help produce more. I also continue to take my prenatal pills that has all the things that I need in my body in it. Okay, I'm taking that every day. This is very consistent. This is an everyday, all day thing. This is an everyday thing. Coconut water is pretty consistent, not every day though. This has been like when I wanted a snack, and this is when I just want to produce. Okay, this is like, I like to drink anyway. I had bought a whole bunch of them. They're gone. They don't last long in my household. When I buy them, I'm not the only one that's drinking them. So I do have to tread lightly with these because it can get a little pricey and expensive. And really, I can just be drinking water. So those are the products that I've used, you guys. And I told you how frequently I've used them, and they do work. Okay. Also, with consistency, I looked up this thing called power pumping, and I watched some videos on people who've done it. Power pumping is something that you do, meaning in a day you pump a certain period of time, a certain amount of times, to get your body to send signals to your brain, so that your brain can send signals to your body in order to do what it needs to do to produce milk, right? And so you're continuously pumping so that your body can produce. Because really what they say is that when you're nursing, the more that your baby sits on your boob, the more that you will produce. And so when you're pumping, that also it's doing the same thing. It tricks your body. It goes and it sends signals for your body to produce. And so some people power pump where they pump multiple times within an hour. Some people pump multiple times within a day, every hour. Some people do every 2 hours. I was the one who did, when I initially started, I think I started it every 2 to 3 hours. And then it went to straight every 3 hours. And so I was doing that all day, every day, consistently. And now I'm at a 3 to 4 hour consistency every day, where I'm pumping 3 to 4 hours. And so in doing that consistently, I'm able to actually, I'm able to actually see the results of how much I produce. So what I do is I keep track of what I'm feeding him as well as what I am pumping. And I do that every day. I do that in my notes app on my phone. I have the date, and then I'll record the times of the feedings, the times of the pumpings, how much I fed him, and then how much I pumped. Okay. And so I can see the results of how much he's intaking a day, how much I'm pumping, how much we have extra. On one day, if I slip a couple pumpings, or if I'm behind, I can see how much I produced. If I'm on target and I'm on schedule, I see how much I produce. And I can also see when my producing is decreasing or increasing, or so that I can do what I need to do. If it's decreasing, I can, get this going or do whatever it is I need to do. If it's increasing, I know that I will have more bags to freeze. And so it has slowly been increasing more and more. I think got up to about 46 ounces in a day. And I don't really go below like 30 to 35 a day. So I'm probably in between 30 and 45 ounces per day. And that is good for me, because before I was only pumping, I wasn't even pumping 20. I think I was pumping like 8 to 10, 8 to 12 maybe. And so that wasn't enough to feed my baby throughout the day. The only reason why we survived through those couple of days is because I had pumped those bags. And so he was drinking, he was feeding from the bags that I had pumped and froze. Okay. And so I had got back down to no freezer bags at all. And now I have so many in the freezer that we have to order a deep freezer to store my breast milk by itself. And I'm thankful for that. Now, one thing I do want to say is that it did not happen overnight. One thing we have to understand as mothers, as humans, is that things don't just happen overnight. Things don't happen quickly, and that's a good thing. We don't want to rush things. We want to be consistent and then see the progression. And experience the process in the meantime. And so I have made a goal that, okay, now that I'm producing, and I'm producing enough to feed him in a day, now if I make an extra, I'm going to freeze it. So I had made a goal when I got to a certain amount of being able to produce a certain amount a day. I made a goal and I said, I'm going to freeze at least one storage bag of breast milk every day. And I knew that I can do it because of where I was with producing and how much he was taking a day. And so that's exactly what I did. I stayed consistent with the pumping. I stayed consistent with the things that I was intaking and taking care of myself and eating and drinking my tea and stuff like that, pumping. And I was able to do that. And because of that one a day, I had, now we're at a place where we can buy a deep freezer because of that one a day. And mind you, we're not even at 3 months. So we're not even at him being 3 months. He's only 2, right? And so we started this journey maybe when he was like 2 weeks. And so 2 to 3 weeks. And so, yeah, I feel great about that. One a day. And that's how I started. And as I started to produce on some days a little more, I was freezing maybe 2 bags. I was freezing maybe 3 bags a couple times. It's funny because I was just sick and I had COVID. And then it turned into pneumonia and I was on an antibiotic. And so he was getting some of that antibiotic. And so I decided not to freeze that milk. But I was producing so much and I'm like, what am I going to do with this milk? And so I made us some popsicles to actually use for our face. I made a whole bunch of bags. Like I have a whole bunch of bath bags so that I can use for him and my 5-year-old so that they can take milk baths. And so I've been giving them milk baths and just trying to utilize the milk. Okay, I've been freezing the milk that has the antibiotic with it and just putting bath on it. So that way when they take baths, I can just put them in their bath and they're using it for their skin. So there's a lot of benefits to that too. Look it up and see what those benefits are. Giving your kids a milk bath, as well as using it for your face. And yeah, I also want to get into making soap, breast milk soap, but we will see. We will see. I'm probably going to record that if I do it, but that's pretty much how I've been able to produce milk, you guys. I am at a great place right now. I know some people who are producing less. I know some people who are producing 60, 70 a day, and maybe even more. But I am okay with where I am because I am able to feed my baby. I am able to give my family shots of it just so that we are taking vitamins and minerals. I'm able to put it in our bath if I want to. I am also able to store away milk as well. And if I produce so much milk to where I'm just busting out at the seams, I will definitely be donating some as well, you guys. I know some people sell it. Somebody mentioned it to me, like, you can sell milk. And I'm just like, you know what? I understand the struggle that mothers have when it comes to this situation, because I have experienced it, and I would not want to sell breast milk. I would want to donate it. So that's kind of where my mind is. I'm going to continue to be consistent. I am in a great place right now as it pertains to producing milk, and I just see what it means when God tells us to be consistent, and when he tells us that we are to be fruitful and to multiply and subdue and replenish, and what it takes. And I see that through consistency, through routine, no matter what, no matter how hard it gets, and just believing, seeking God first, that you will have no choice but to produce. And so go ahead and talk to God about that, you guys. Say a prayer. Purchase the things that you want to purchase. If you don't have the money, make sure that you're drinking a lot of water. Make sure that you're eating. And make sure that you are being consistent with pumping and nursing and if you believe God and you have faith, you will produce. So I hope that helps somebody, you guys. I'm going to insert a clip of just a realistic way of thinking when it comes to producing milk and what that may look like in a day. Some points of the day you may be producing less than other points of the day, and that's okay. I'm also going to be adding some words of encouragement within that clip, as well as another clip to show you guys a method that I'm using on storing the milk and keeping up with a routine for the breast milk as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys have a beautiful, blessed, and prosperous day. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, you guys. My last video is currently like at 800 and something views for labor and delivery. So I am so happy about that, you guys. I hope that video helps somebody. I hope it's interesting for somebody. I hope it's entertaining, whatever it is. I hope it helps somebody, all first and foremost, most importantly. And so, yes, like, comment, and subscribe, you guys. Join the family. Let's grow this family. Let's encourage each other. Come and see my life. I want to show you guys what it looks like to struggle. I want to show you guys what it looks like to prosper. I want to show you guys what it likes to live, okay? I want to help you guys. I want you guys to help me. So make sure that you are joining the discussion, putting some words of encouragement down in the comments, some advice, anything positive. I am waiting to receive. And so I love you guys. And like I always love to say at the end of my videos is be you, because you are enough. Bye, guys. So I want to show y'all this. So I know that there's a lot of mothers out there who have difficulties producing milk. Sometimes it decreases, sometimes it stays at a standstill, sometimes it may increase but then go back to decreasing. So when you are like a first time mother, or you just lack a lot of knowledge when it comes to nursing and breastfeeding, sometimes you can get a little discouraged if you don't pump a lot in a sitting. So I showed you guys all of the milk that I have in the freezer, which is a lot for me because I wasn't producing a lot in the beginning. However, even though I am producing that much, and I'm understand that consistency is going to be the key. When you're consistent, you can build that much milk. If you guys see this, so I haven't pumped since 8:30 this morning. It's I haven't pumped since I think 4:30 this morning. I haven't pumped since, was it 4:30? I think I haven't pumped since 7 this morning. It's now 11. So it's been 4 hours, right? So you would think that I would be engorged, and I need to pump all this milk. I'm going to show you guys how much milk I just pumped in 20 minutes. So here's one. This is going to be the left. Which is 2 ounces. Okay. And this is going to be the right. Also, I have the Mom Cozy pump. I think this is one of their newer ones. I don't know what it's called, but it was like $100 and something. But you don't have to get a pump that costs that much. You can get a cheap pump. I have a cheap pump that I had got for free, actually, from the hospital. I just got this because it was more convenient, and my husband bought it for me. So otherwise, I would have been fine. I would have just stuck with the other one. So we're at 4.5. So 2 from one, 2.5 from the other, which is we're at 4.5. Now, a lot of people will say that, oh my goodness, I'm not producing. A lot of people will panic. A lot of people may think, may feel discouraged, right? Because initially I was very discouraged. I was feeling so depressed because I felt like I wasn't going to be able to produce like how it turned out with my first child, which in turn I actually figured out that I was just lacking knowledge initially. So this is 4.5, right? And this has been happening to me almost every day. So there are times where I'll pump 8 to 10 ounces in one sitting, maybe even 11. I think I've pumped 11.5 at the most in one sitting. And then there'll be times where I pump 4. I don't think I've been less than 4 yet since I've started to produce more. I look at it positively because first of all, I'm still producing and I'm still being consistent. I'm eating the things I need to eat. I'm doing the things that I need to do, which is the pumping, and I'm staying consistent with it. Sometimes I may miss a pump, which may slow down a little bit, but you can power pump. You can Google what that is. Some people, they pump for 20 minutes, take a break for 10, pump for another 20, take a break for 10, and they keep doing that for a whole hour to power pump. Some people pump an hour every hour in a day to power pump. Some people do it every 2 hours to power pump. And so it depends on what works for you, what your schedule is, what's going on in your life, right? However, with this 4.5, I can look at it this way. My baby is eating 4 ounces per feeding. And so I just pumped enough for one of his meals for today. And that is how I can look at it and not be discouraged that I didn't pump 10 to 20 ounces in one sitting like I've seen other mothers do. And that is wonderful. However, that's not my journey. That's not where I am, and that's okay. I am staying consistent in what I can do. And so something that I did is, and I'll talk about this in the video when I talk about pumping and breast milk production. But what I did is I set a goal to just make sure I am able to pump. So I'm pumping exclusively right now. I stopped nursing. And what I'm doing is I'm pumping to feed him, and I'm also pumping to store. And so I made a goal that I have to store at least 1 6-ounce bag per day. At least. And so I made that my goal. It may not be a lot to a lot of people, but it's a lot to me. Coming from not being able to produce at all with my first child, and decreasing in my production with this child at the beginning, that is a great goal for me. And so you see what that got me. I have a whole full bucket. My baby is 6 weeks, and so it has not been that long. Week by week, the first week I was able to produce a lot of milk, but that second week I decreased, so I had to use the milk that I stored away for my baby to eat. So, and then that's when I started to do research. I started to call and reach out for help and ask questions, and then I started to doing, I prayed, that was first, and I started to doing the proper things that I know I needed to do. And I did them, and I remained consistent for the next 4 weeks. And out of those next 4 weeks, it took time to get the production to get back up and to start going with being consistent. But at a certain point, I was at a place where I'm like, okay, I'm producing. So that's not just from 6 weeks, that's actually from 4 weeks. And then within that 4 weeks, I had to get back up to production. So you can really say that's from 3 weeks. And you can see that I have gotten a lot of milk. Some of those bags are 7-ounce bags. So, and I'm happy with that. I have a lot of stuff packed up from October and for November already. And today is November 10th. So this 4 ounces is not going to discourage me, because I've been consistent, and I see with that consistency, no matter if it's little by little, one bag at a time, it has gotten me to produce a lot, and that is okay. And so I just want to encourage somebody to just say, like, your journey is your journey. And this is a hard one. This is not an easy one with mothers, especially if we want to produce for our kids. You know, it's not a good feeling when you can't produce what your kid needs. You can't give him what you know he needs, what you know he or she needs, what you know is good for them. And so when we're able to produce, it's a great thing for us. Just understand that your journey is your journey. You don't have to pump 70 ounces a day to be successful at pumping. Sometimes it may be 20 a day. Sometimes it may be 30. And as you produce more and more, you count your wins. This is a win for me. I'm able to feed my baby another time because I have another 4 ounces. Which I have 4.5. Okay, so it's okay, and I'm gonna pump again probably in the next 2 to 3 hours. And I just had my water this morning. I ate my oatmeal, and I'm gonna continue to take the things that I've been taking to produce more milk. I know that I can produce milk, and I will continue to do so, and nothing will stop me. The only thing that can stop me is me. And so I'm gonna continue to pray. God will continue to be with me and tell me the different strategies that I can use if I need to pivot and do something else. However, I'm going to stay with what I've gained from the Lord and the help that I have received, and the information I've received from just YouTube and internet, and like the lactation specialist. All of that, I'm gonna utilize it, and I'm going to be consistent like I've been doing. And with that consistency, I have been producing. So with consistency, faith, asking for help, you will produce. Just have faith. So just wanted to tell you guys that and show you that, because sometimes I know we can look at other people and see that they're doing so well and they're doing all these different things, and that's great, and we're happy for them. But our journey may be different. It may look different. So don't get discouraged. Don't give up, because you can be successful in your own way, doing your own thing in your own journey. See you guys in the next clip. Hey y'all, I'm back. So I just want to follow up with what I said earlier when it comes to milk production. So I wanted to show you guys. Actually just got done eating. I made some chili over there, y'all, in the pot. We just got done eating, and I'm about to feed Zion in a little bit. But I wanted to come on here because I did get a chance to pump before I ate. And I wanted to show you guys. I feel like this is better. There you go. I wanted to show you guys something really quick. So earlier I was talking about how sometimes when you pump, it may be a little bit. This time when I pumped, you see that? It's full. This is from my right. This is from my left. Okay? A little bit more on the right. So yes, you can have 2 to 4 ounces in a day. 2 to 4 ounces in one sitting and still be producing milk. Just because you have one that's less doesn't mean that I'm gonna leave this in. No, I'm not. It's already out. I was supposed to leave that in there, but okay. Doesn't mean that you are not going to produce. So both of them are pretty much full. This one is full. This one is almost full. And I'm pouring it. Okay. That one by itself alone was 6 ounces. Okay. Let's do the other one. It's probably gonna overflow. Probably gonna overflow. This is an 8 ounce bottle. Bottle's probably gonna overflow, which is okay. Nope, it won't overflow. I don't think. It's just gonna go beyond the 8 ounces. So here we got about almost 11 ounces, about 10 and a half. This is about 10 and a half. This is almost 11. 8 is right here. 9, 10, and then a little bit. This is almost 10 and a half. And this is what I mean, you guys, about the production of your breast milk. Just because you only pumped a little bit doesn't mean you won't produce. Just continue to do what you need to do. And I'm going to do a video, like I said, on the things that I use to help me produce. As long as I'm consistent doing that, no matter what time of day it is, it's every day and it's a routine, and I'm continuing to pump, I will produce more. So just wanted to come on here and just encourage you and allow you to see that.